Circular motion. Me, Harrison, and Jarrett. Miss Cox, first period.
Key terms. Linear speed, measured in distance units per time unit, for example, feet per second. Tangential speed, the linear speed of something moving along a circular path. Rotational speed, an object rotating around an axis is the number of turns of the object per time unit. Centripetal force, any force pulling toward the center of a circle. Rotation, circular movement of an object around a center of rotation. Revolution, the movement of one object around a center of another object.
Velocity is the speed with direction. So if an object changes direction, it is accelerating. An object moving around a circle is constantly accelerating. This is called a centripetal acceleration. The centripetal force always points toward the center of the circle. Even though the rope is not pulling towards the center, the centripetal acceleration is.
Examples of centripetal force is whether your motorcycle is going in a circle cage or it's a tetherball arena like you would see in the elementary or middle school. It's basically where 2 or 4 kids get on each side of the pole and they hit it back and forth till one of the balls wraps around the whole thing. But that is centripetal force. So I'm going to show you an example of a little tennis ball attached to this little rope. So if you were to swing the ball around and around and around and let it go, it would go in a straight line. Because of the centripetal force, it makes it go in a straight line and not curve.
This is Harrison. Do a couple practice problems. The first one is, an object travels in circular motion with a speed of 16.64 meters per second. What is the centripetal acceleration if the radius of the circle is 11.38 meters? Alright, we're going to write down what we know. We know that the radius is 11.38 meters and that the speed is 16.64 meters. So the formula we're going to use is this one right here. So what we have to do is take the speed, which is 16.64, and square it and divide it by the radius, which is 11.38 meters. And if you plug that into your calculator, you get, for the numerator, 276.8896. You can divide that by the radius, which is 11.38, and you will get 24.33 meters per second squared. The second problem is, what is the centripetal force on a 4.10 kilogram object traveling in circular motion with a radius of 3.41 meters at a speed of 4.13 meters per second? To find the centripetal force, first you have to find the centripetal acceleration, which we did up here. So you have to take the speed squared, which the speed is 4.13, square that, and then divide it by the radius, which is 3.41. So let's do that real quick. The numerator, you should get 17.0569 divided by 3.41. And you should get 5.00. And then you multiply this by the mass. The mass is 4.10 kilograms. And you take this, multiply it, 5 times 4.10. You should get 20.5 newtons. Third question. An object with a mass of 2.95 kilograms is traveling with a speed of 2.40 meters per second in a circular path. The centripetal force of 8.88 newtons works on the object. What is the radius of the orbit? you're going to multiply the mass by the square of the speed. So the mass is 2.95 kilograms. And you're going to multiply that by 2.40 squared. So you have 2.40 squared, which you get 5.6. Do 5.6 times 2.95. And you'll get 16.992. Then you're going to divide this by the centripetal force, which is 8.88 newtons. 16.992 divided by 8.88. You should get an answer of 1.91 meters. Question number 4. A centripetal force of 60.63 newtons is required to keep a mass of 3.52 kilograms in an orbit which has a radius of 2.15 meters. At what speed is the object moving? Okay, first thing you're going to do is take the radius of 2.15 meters and multiply that by the centripetal force of 60.63. 2.15 times 60.63. And you would get 130.3545. And then you're going to divide this by the mass of 3.52 kilograms. And you should get 37.03. I'm going to move down here for more room. So you have the 3703. And you're going to take the square root of this value to get your answer. And you should get 6.08 meters per second. Alright, last question we have for y'all. An object moving in a circular motion with an orbit radius of 3.46 meters. What is the speed of the object if it goes around in its orbit once every 1.98 seconds? Okay, to calculate the speed, we're going to multiply 2 times pi times the radius of 3.46, and we're going to divide that by the time or the period, which is 1.98 seconds. It's also on your formula chart right here. Alright, plug this into the calculator. 2 times 3.14. Then you're going to do 6.28 times 3.46. So the numerator, you should get 21.7288. Divide that by 1.98. And you should get 10.97